Ah, the joys of Monday, am I right? Yeah, no, Monday was yesterday, Lego. What are you talking about? Well, you know how we had said that the Daniel Sprong signing for the Vancouver Canucks was a very interestingly timed signing for the team? Yeah, it happened on a Saturday afternoon. We were talking about it then. I was talking about it then. But you know who wasn't talking about it then? The mainstream media. The folks on The Athletic weren't really going too deep in their articles. The guys on Sportsnet 650, hey, they had the day off. It was Saturday. We didn't get much Daniel Sprong coverage from the Vancouver media world, you could say, until Monday. Because Monday is not only the day when I had the power outage here in my apartment, which is why we made the video yesterday too, but Monday was when the Canucks and Daniel Sprong had their press conference. It's when the media was able to go out there and write their articles, and as a result, we have ourselves this piece from Thomas Drance that I wanted to highlight in this video today. Canucks Daniel Sprong signing, thoughts on cap space, fit, and shooting efficiency. Now, this article is from The Athletic. It'll be linked in the description. It's paid for material, so we're not going to screenshot the piece itself, but if you do have The Athletic, you can read this on your own time. Instead, we're going to refer to a ProHockeyRumors.com article. This is the West Notes, Sprong, Stasny, Lorentz, written by Josh Erickson from yesterday as well, because this Pro Hockey Rumors article cites the Thomas Drance piece and gives the same ideas in a much more paraphrased form. It's easier for us to dive into the idea, and of course, this is a free website. But essentially, now that the Daniel Sprong signing is out into the week, rather than just being weekend news, we have ourselves a lot of different ideas that are popping up as to what this could mean for the team. As we also talked about yesterday, we went over Daniel Sprong's comments and his entire perspective on being friends with Elias Pettersson, Jake DeBrusk. That idea seems to be a little precursor to what we are going to be talking about today. Without further ado, we're on to the Pro Hockey Rumors article. This is what Thomas Drance wrote about. He took a deep dive into the Canucks signing of Daniel Sprong over the weekend. Among other points, Drance articulates that Daniel Sprong is likely viewed internally as a lower-cost replacement for Andrei Kuzmenko, who was dealt to the Flames in last season's Elias Lindholm blockbuster. If so, it seems the Canucks will be more willing to utilize Sprong in top six duty, likely on Elias Pettersson's right wing, than his recent homes. His offensive success with the Kraken and Red Wings the past two seasons has come despite receiving solidly bottom six minutes. And when you think about it like that, things start to become very interesting. Now, I brought this concern up and it was talked about in the comments section of the video yesterday, but Daniel Sprong's defensive incapabilities have been a problem over his career. It's partly why he took so long to break out and actually become an NHL athlete, teetering the line between AHL, NHL, and even the QMJHL, like when he was initially drafted by Pittsburgh back in 2015. And it's why, even in his full-time NHL days, he was a bottom six player. He didn't have significant minutes with the Kraken, did not have significant minutes with the Red Wings, but he still found ways to get 40, 50-point pace seasons with 20-ish goal paces on top of that. So, with this idea in mind, not only has Sprong come out there publicly and said that he is still kept in touch with DeBrusk and Pettersson, two guys whom I'm pretty sure everybody's sort of penciling in as the next duo in the Canucks top six, but if there is some sort of an idea floating around saying, hey, last year Andrei Kuzmenko and Pettersson was the move. It didn't work out because Kuzi got traded, but it was the move. If Daniel Sprong can do similar things and maybe even get more points than he has been used to getting, then who really knows where the team is going to go with this? Honestly, with Sprong saying that the conversations he had had with Rick Tocchet were very positive, with him saying that he wants to commit to working on his defense, I start to get really excited because, sure, you can say what you want. I don't want to say it's guaranteed that he's going to be a better defensive player in this upcoming season, but to know that the effort is going to be there, to know that he understands that it's an area of his game that he needs to work on. If Rick Tocchet can't get this guy to start working hard, then nobody's going to be able to get this guy to start working hard. And even with guys like Kuzmenko from last year, it's not necessarily that he wasn't working hard, it's just The things that Rick Tocchet demanded out of Kuzmenko were not being fulfilled in Rick Tocchet's eyes. Now, you can say that from the way Tocchet was deploying Kuzi, it was unfair because we recognize that, he was so good under Bruce Boudreau when he had all these points, and he was a 70-point guy, and he had 30, almost 40 goals in his first season in Vancouver. How could Rick Tocchet take that away from us, man? Like, I can understand if there are some concerns with the way Daniel Sprong could potentially fit in if he's going to be used in some sort of a similar Kuzmenko way, but the difference here is Daniel Sprong is making less than $1 million a year. Andrei Kuzmenko got re-signed to a beefy extension, which is why it was seen as a good thing when the Canucks traded him away. He just wasn't providing any value for the contract. For Daniel Sprong, he provides a lot of value for $975,000, even if he just stays in the Canucks' bottom six. So if Trance has a point here, and the Canucks ultimately try to put Daniel Sprong in that top six spot with Pettersson and DeBrusk, both guys whom he's established that he's got relationships with, then all of a sudden you think about the rest of the lineup like, okay, if Höglander is on the fourth line, if Podkolzin is on the fourth line, that's a pretty good fourth line. If Kiefer Sherwood and these other guys are going to be rotating around there could be some serious work ethic rounding out the defensive capabilities of that fourth line. Bluger, Joshua Garland, third line, Miller, Besser, Suter, first line. It's all good at Applewood, right? So I ultimately like this idea a lot, especially if it works, Oh, yeah, crazy. Oh, you like the idea if it works, right? Imagine if the Canucks get a 40, 50, maybe 60-point guy with some good minutes who's making under $1 million in a season. That would be crazy. And you know what the even crazier part about this is? This Daniel Sprong idea is so experimental, but the reward could be so great, and I don't even feel like the reward is something that's necessary in order for the Canucks to progress forward as a team. That's a weird sentence to say, but hear me out a little bit. I get it. You could respond to these ideas by saying, okay, so if Daniel Sprong is this sub-$1 million guy who maybe gets 25 goals playing with Pettersson, if he gets 50 points, then does that not put the Canucks in a little bit of a stranglehold? Would they not be forced to maybe go on a big run or win the cup in 2025 because they have to take advantage of when Sprong is on this team with a cheap dollar amount? Honestly, I'm going to say no. It doesn't put pressure on them to do anything more than what they could have already done before Sprong had signed, because this team has such capable, competent management in bringing guys back, in signing guys onto the team with dollar amounts that are more than appropriate for the team's cap structure. This team is so much different from what Jim Benning had that you honestly start to get a little bit teary-eyed, Like, I watched my NHL Instagram feed from yesterday. Like, they posted a clip or a bunch of clips of Elias Pettersson scoring points from the 23-24 season, and, like, watching those clips got me giddy. And I started thinking, I was like, oh, the team is actually kind of better now than they were when some of those clips were made. Like, I think the second or third clip in that Instagram post was of the Connor Garland goal to open up the season, the 1-0 goal against Edmonton in Game 1. That was like a year ago, and that team was arguably worse than what the Canucks have today. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about Daniel Sprong potentially being a legitimate top six option for the Canucks. He had been playing in sub 10-minute games over and over with Detroit, but still found a way to score almost 20 goals and 40 points. What does he do with Elias Pettersson and Jake DeBrusk as his line mates? And what do you think this says about the duo status of the Canucks forward core? Tocchet said he likes duos. This team is filled with duos. Miller Besser, duo. Petey DeBrusk, duo. Connor Garland, Dakota Joshua, duo. And then I guess you could say Höglander and Sherwood, or whomever else is going to be on that fourth line. Lots of options here for the Vancouver Canucks, but I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this Kuzmenko replacement idea that was tossed out there by Thomas Drance? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Both articles will be linked in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.